Hello, greetings, I'm Adventure Argonaut. And this is, again, Disco Elysium. I think we are nearing the end, but probably won't be the last stream yet. I don't know how much content there is still in the game. Well, I'm gonna assume it's gonna take at least one more stream after this, but I guess we'll find out later today. And the streams are up, so let's get to the game. So yeah, like yesterday in the game, I mean, or last stream, I went on a date, but before that I sent Kim, my partner, to get rid of the body finally. What's this?
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence.
What did the smoke smell like?
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance.
Who are the people who live across the road?
A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware.
Maybe I should try to do lottery using these numbers.
His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are heavier with money, but
what about
slightly.
The bus stop?
Number 312D. Young girls used to come here huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost.
What about the road?
Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn.
A dead dog?
Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant.
I don't really understand the point with this, like, I don't know, atmosphere thingies, but whatever.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands
but I got
behind
XP.
the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
Okay, I can't go this way. Yeah, now it's 9 o'clock, because you have to wait until 9 o'clock to sleep, I believe. And so yeah, I went on a date with the chick and got this saber. So I hope it's gonna be useful. Huh? Little black swallow circles above you. You hear it cheer. Okay. How ominous. Yeah, I'm just thinking there's another body at the pier. I think I have to have what's his name, Kim, in the party to like report it or something. Yeah, and this passport is gone.
The dome-shaped
That was Clausia's passport, or whatever her real name was. Katarina something. Where am I going? Ah, I can go through here. Hey, that's 1 XP. I should go check this out. Yeah, this thing. There's absolutely no way through this door. But yeah, I guess I wanna find my way to the pier. I hope I can do it. I don't remember. I remember it's somewhere in this direction, but how exactly to get there, that seems to be a mystery. I'm just like trying to, because the game implied that once we go to the island, there's no coming back. So I'm running through my head, like, you know, different things, like are there things I should still be doing but I can't do, that I can do. Like, of course there's many side missions that I can no longer complete, not compete. Oh, what's this? The shot couldn't have come from here. Trees blocked the way. Okay. Well, I can't find the pier. Fine. And then I'll just leave the body there. The game didn't seem to care because, you know, I have his name or maybe his wife's name in my library card or his library card. So I, you know, should have been able to ask somebody like, hey, do you know this person or something about them? But no. No, yeah, let's just go to sleep here.
It's getting cold. This late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Yep. Let's save.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
Go to sleep.
The place feels almost like home now. Quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
I guess I should buy some
time,
healing items.
Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights sinking to the bottom of the sea, until they're suddenly light.
This respite, you've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around while you forget everything you've managed to remember.
Is this the last dream?
No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Thank you, darkness. Thank you.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
Fall into deep, uninterrupted sleep.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Open your eyes. Oh, everything healed. Wait. I think there was some, you know, challenge in the mirror here.
You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean-shaven face.
Okay, let's try to get rid of the expression or whatever. There is some satisfaction, you know, overcoming these challenges and stuff. So that's, you know, in favor of the game. Like, you know, a positive aspect. Any more electrochemistry? I need it for the task. Oh, this one. Oh, this is also, but they're both electrochemistry, so it doesn't really matter which one I'm wearing. This is also, oh, my electrochemistry is gonna be over 9,000.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection.
Yeah, it was
the expression
8% before,
fixed to
now
your
it's
clean-shaven
58.
face. You're still not.
And still fail. But yeah, I increased my chances of success by 50%. That sounds pretty good.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. Still not happening.
Come on, game. It's so like I did such a heroic effort of, you know, changing clothes, but still failing.
Still not happening.
Come on, it's more than 50% chance. I've rolled, is it 4th or 3rd time and still failing? Come on, man.
Hangs on the wall. Still not happening.
You know, even Joe Biden would have succeeded by now.
It's like
okay,
something
finally.
snaps in you. A nerve ending. A thought. A sadness. Your face in the mirror is suddenly clean of the layer that had distorted it for God knows how long. Just like that, it's over. The running gag that your life had become. A sad old man looks back at you.
Okay, so what's... did this actually change the expression here? I don't know. Well, whatever, let's put on my normal clothes. If I can figure out what I actually had on me. Why are some of these like red? Is it that I haven't worn them yet or something? There's still some pants. What kind of pants was I wearing? Is it this one? Yeah, these are pretty good, I guess. Fine, yes. If you heard some weird whining sounds, it's my son. He's sleeping next to me on his bed.
Yes?
Okay, tell me about the case.
What do you want to know?
Literally anything about it. I can't remember a single thing.
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security
Guess I was supposed to ask
who was
this
found hanged in
the first
Martinez.
day, but I
An
didn't.
anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Why didn't we know anything about the caller?
They, classier as we've come to suspect, didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Why hide themselves?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Of course, yes, I understand everything now.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Would you say this is a mysterious case?
No, it's not a particularly mysterious case.
Why not?
The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
personally, I think labor disputes are very
Then
mysterious.
you are in luck, because we are in the midst of a major strike by the Dock Workers Union. Maybe more than that. The union clearly wants a piece, not just of the industrial harbor, but the Wild Pines Corporation itself.
Is this a strike then? Or the first shots in a workers' coup?
I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating these community matters. This district isn't used to the RCM's presence, and the Union rarely overplays its hand, as it appears to have done in this case.
Wait, so is this a strike or an attempted coup?
Strike, coup, revolution, it's brigandage, however you parse it.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an opinion taking form.
I don't think routing one or the other side into pig's feed will do anyone any favors. I am really smart.
When I said we have to navigate community matters, I did not mean we have any say in them. I meant we should be careful. If we are not, the shit will blow right in our faces.
He makes a quick gesture towards his visage where the shit would blow.
From an imaginary fan.
Now, was there anything else you wanted?
Okay, yes, that's all for now. We got some XP out of it. I guess that was what we... Let's see if she says anything about our date. Or walk or whatever.
Be careful out there. Oh?
Okay, yeah,
How
that's
can I
not
assist you
what
then?
I'm looking for. Let's just go to the car first, because I have to use the radio to call the police station or whatever, because they should have information about the armor
radio
that
microphone.
the victim was wearing.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Have you heard back from the ICP about the serial number?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Bétancourt sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Iranese pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict. So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Do you know what it's called now?
The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Crenel, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
Yeah, Crenel, we already know that name.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
A suit of armor like this would have been customized to fit the wearer. There must be a record of the person to whom it was issued.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
This is a fun challenge for her, an opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Yes, please do try. It's imperative that we learn whose armor this was.
Sure. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I will have more information for you then.
Tomorrow, okay, fine. I don't know if there will be a tomorrow in this game. I don't know, just check inside if there's anything new here. Oh yeah, and I should remember to go buy the food, I mean the healing items.
Is there something I can do for you?
Did you see the huge burning graffiti outside?
Yes. Very responsible.
The end has begun.
Sure, I don't know. Maybe the end has begun. Fuck it.
His eyes more tired than angry.
He's so exhausted following recent events. He doesn't even have the energy to really get on your
Yeah,
case.
we win. we have broken him. His spirit. Guess I can also buy some booze. You know, if we really need strength or something. What's this?
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
Wanted raincoat?
What is what? It's a raincoat. If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Fine, let's buy it. Yellow roses in the window, those aren't flowers that were left for class, yeah, okay. So I point out these aren't the flowers you're looking
stands
for.
In the corner. A sign says 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Excuse me, I have a chair bag but no chair. Can I still use the machine?
No. You need...
So do I have to equip it in my hand to put bottles there, I guess?
The chair machine stands in the corner.
No chair, okay. I thought you said no bottle, whatever. Okay, here's
a small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles.
Yeah, let's buy some Truamine.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
And one nose affair.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste...
A colourful display.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
So the effect is the same, but this costs 30, this costs 5. Whatever. Let's buy
Here
one
you
of
go,
these.
Mister.
I guess it should be enough to go to the island finally. So, fisherman shacks. If there's something left undone, then it's left undone. But let's go to the island then.
The skiff floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
Get in you take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox.
What?
What? How else do we blast Sad FM on our way to the island?
Fine. Let's blast Sad FM then.
Sad FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart.
Get in and ride to the island. Okay, only 20 minutes and we finally get to the island. Well, let's see if we actually get to the island. Maybe we will, I don't know, crash and get abducted by mermaids or something. But I don't think you should be standing in a boat like that. It's a really bad idea. Especially with this guy's dexterity. Like, this guy has done all sorts of irresponsible stuff, but this takes the cake. Yes, very nice music video. The church looks nice though, I must admit. But you know, I would still like it to, you know, speed ahead a bit. I regret not being able to open this thing. Maybe I should have tried saves coming plus using some clothes to do it, but oh well. But yeah, this island is presumably the place where the shot came. Is this oil? An oil spill? Okay.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go.
I hope they tie the rope, you know, so the boat doesn't... No, it's not tied. Come on, man.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
See, there's no, you know, it's not moored or whatever. Come on, man. Makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. Yeah, shake your foundation. Rusted chain trails off into the ocean. What's this? Tires falling apart, they're at least 50 years old. Okay, we can't go here. Attention, inflammable. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel. Black viscous. There's a lingering trace of mazout in the air. So I guess it's gonna blow up or something eventually. But yeah, I guess that's why the fireman, because there were some, you know, kids who had come to this island before. And they said there was some fireman who yelled at them because they made a fire. So, you know, this is a good reason why you don't want to make a fire here. Warm air from inside the building is warmer there than out here.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea.
What is this? What is that flutter?
The flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 meters away. 102. 105.
Underneath the flutter?
On the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline. Long dried leaves chafing against each other, like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work. Of great importance to the few who attend.
To the west.
A silent hiss. Sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree.
To the east.
The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. The low tide filtered through its grains. A bird tending to its feathers.
Ahead.
A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building.
Beyond that, further north.
Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless.
Below the
A
silence.
jitter. A sound impatient to happen. But not yet in this world. You hear some kind of limb fidget, producing an imperceptible tick. No, it's just your imagination. You can't hear such things.
Kim.
Yes?
It's really fucking silent on this island.
It is.
Silent
Is
on
that
this
why we're
island, it
stepping?
rhymes. Wait, I have to listen to one more thing.
The lieutenant nods in silence.
Okay, open your eyes, stop listening. Fine. The barrel says ICM, you see a star with little specks on it. So it's communist. Right. Little birds from the coin-operated view are still holding on. No way up there. The stairs are gun. What's this? Be careful not to fall. The cliff face looks steep. Can I fall? Let's try. No, I can't. How about this? Can we go here? Nope. So I guess we have to enter here and then come out that way. Just have a brief look if there's any other locations besides, entering the pillbox said. So yeah, I guess there's really nothing here. Nope. Okay, let's just go inside the building then. What's this? Okay, there was some listening.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
RCM sounds like RCM. Kim, what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army, the black and white army of the revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
RCM. It sounds like RCM, Revolutionary Citizens Militia.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May?
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. A mediocre athlete would pant from dragging around his body on a busted crutch. But not you. You're thinking about politics with blood dripping down your thigh.
It's a little embarrassing in 51. No, maybe we need a rebrand.
No one remembers the ICM. The connotation is less important each year.
He bows to inspect the barrel. White star? Point to the star on the label.
No, an upside-down star.
With its horns in the sky, the symbol of the commune.
Are those specks stars too?
No, that's the uninhabited archipelago.
A DeLorean-era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in the sea.
Looks old. What is it still doing here?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Okay. Oh. This was once an armament rest. Twin cannons are attached to a medium distance, large caliber. Careful, these stairs have collapsed. Books, mostly fantastic and historical fiction. Okay, it's 55% done, this thing. Dishes stained with sauce and fire, survivor's kitchen. Oh! Hand-eye coordination shirt. Well, what sort of shirt? I still think this Feels nice.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized.
Sift through them.
Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures, popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T&T Harpin, husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories? You find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Enraged by commies. Well, conceptualization. I guess I can add some clothes with conceptualization if I have any. Wait. Sorry, I was distracted for a moment. Don't see much conceptualization. Maybe there is some. Oh, okay, at least I had one. Or, well, they're both. Both are. No, wait. That's. Okay, yes. It's +2. Okay.
Soft covers, serialized fantastique, and detective
Does anything
stories,
stand out as
animal
unusual?
adventures. Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Elysium. It's not exactly like reading.
Look, Kim, deranged commie ranting.
Ooh, yeah. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Wasn't there some in the communist student's room?
A student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well.
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them.
Critical theory books, what do you think this means?
Whoever has lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests.
Interesting.
Okay, let's put on the clothes again. You see candles planted on a broken rangefinder. Moth-bitten bed sheets keep the wind out.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracol blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
How
You
recently?
force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
No time to rest now?
Yes, any time. If you need a rest later, it's okay by me.
You don't have to be a hero.
I guess it's, if I lose too much hit points and sanity. Oh, scarf. lots of empathy. What sort of scarf? I have drama scarf. Well, this is +2 stats, and that's just basically +1 because it's +2 -1. So I guess I'll keep the current one for now. These are the same object, right?
Soft
yes.
colors.
Okay. So what's this thing? This machine?
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Where do these wires lead?
Downstairs, somewhere?
What kind of generator is this?
Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout.
He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo.
The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter, long and cold.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator.
Tap on the
The
side.
hollow ring, the canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and down into the ammo lift.
What does this mean, a generator here?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
That is his idea of a joke.
I am. This generator proves the universe is material. Kick the generator. Ow.
A small agony. Minuscule bones may have fractured, but it proves the point.
Ouch, grab your wounded toe.
He nods approvingly. He even smiles.
I meant, why is it here?
Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy.
The wind outside picks up suddenly, with a faint howl. Inside, it's warm.
I'm happy I didn't lose any hit points, I guess because I had enough pain threshold skill. What's this? Oh, more drugs. Why is this yellow? Oh. Maybe the yellow means that you need a certain amount of perception to see it or something. The great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off it.
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
What's on the other side?
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable.
How do we open this?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He looks at the door, then it's bigger brother, then at the lock. I find us not opening it highly unlikely.
Alright, I retract my statement. It was naive. Let's look around and get it open.
Then we are supposed to open it, okay. And this is where we came from, so okay, let's go to the other side. In this way. No. How can we get down there? Oh, is it this way? Okay, okay. It's a computer or something.
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
What is this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here.
Could this open the blast door?
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radiodiffusé. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
Slide radio
The
dial.
dial slides under the glass. Silently, you make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words, Feld Insula, are written on the band.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military communications.
It's an air-gapped system, an off-air military model. Its circuits are nearly impossible to bend, i.e., it cannot be remote controlled.
Turn emergency open.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
He looks into the dim light to his right. Not in agreement.
The console looks on as you talk, mute and unpowered. Its dials are covered in dust.
Push light interior.
Nothing happens.
Okay. What's this? Hatch is jammed shut. Oh crap. The game really loves giving me like this morale stuff, but not much health stuff. A firing slit you can see inside. It must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. Chunk yogurt. The distant sound of cargo ships' signal horns echo on the water. It's like caltrops used by giants. Like, you know, we're Lilliputians and, you know, and yeah, these are, you know, caltrops. Is there anything here? Anybody out there? Oh, what's this? Pain in your pelvis makes you wince, then you continue. Inside of the fortress you make out the console and the blast door. Maybe it means that, you know, the fire guy who lives here has been spying on us, like, you know, showing like, yeah, there's a way to look where we are. Ooh.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
This looks like a good place to aim from.
The lieutenant looks around. He steps closer with his hand on the gun, on his gun. Inspect the mattress.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
Is it like, you know, IKEA? Because Marjorie, you know, IKEA's products are named usually like that, but they have, you know, names and stuff like that, so I don't know.
And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick out one out of the can.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Mortieri. Contemporary Rivisholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Mortieri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
I saw the same brand of cigarettes extinguished in Lansing. Point to the west.
Could be a coincidence. Or the same person has visited Land's End and here. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
Inspect the wall.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Touch the concrete first.
Quite old and grimy, from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Look through the hole in the concrete.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation. A tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar.
On the left.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
On the right.
the red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10, the doomed commercial area.
Between the two?
The box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. I think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
He pats you on the back, 3 small pats in a row.
Affirmative.
Finally.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
You're right.
He looks north, over the fortification, then at the mattress. He's conflicted for a second. There's guilt there. It takes him a moment to rationalize it away.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
He looks behind his back. On this island?
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says,
"We should move now."
Turn away. Okay, save. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. Old medicine cabinets newly stocked with Druamine. Oh, what's this? Oh, finally I got Druamine. Yes, oh yeah, it's the drug. And Loom fuel canister. Is it empty? Yeah. There is still some fuel in this battered canister. Okay, so maybe we can use it to power the machine. Yeah. You feel your eyes on your back, somebody's watching you, but you can't say where. How ominous. The winch is broken, rust has eaten what remains of the chain.
a strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea, leave it all, and walk in.
Why?
Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you.
Yeah, the mermaid.
Where it has always been. In front of the video rental, on the corner, at the crossing, smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal. Maybe you know it's going to hurt.
But it's cold.
Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
No.
Yes. No. We're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
Raise your sight.
In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez, reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
Shake your head. Shake your money maker. This thing.
This old cylindrical generator.
Yeah,
works
pour
with its
fuel into the
cap.
tank.
The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch.
Pull the rope. Pull the string. Pull the string.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
XP. How are we doing it? It's not gonna be finished anytime soon. I think I still have to, activate the console.
A dim golden glow.
It's on. Turn
emergency open.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
They're so proud of this animation of the door opening, so they show it completely and so slowly. It is sort of nice, but also boring.
After you.
Before outside, when we were walking across the sand, I felt someone watching me.
So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
What's there? Point to the door.
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
What if we get into another fight?
Don't worry. I have a gun.
He takes out his sidearm, checks the barrel, then holsters it again. I don't have a gun.
Extra good that I do.
I have a sword. That's more manly than a gun. And you might argue, like, how is a sword more manly than a gun? Because, well, any weak child or female or whatever, they can be dangerous if they have a gun. But, with sword, you need some more strength and stuff. Of course, you need skill with either of them. Looks like a minefield or something. Small white flowers blossom all around you. Ah, it's those. I think it's the flowers that were at Glacia's balcony. A rubber dinghy is deflated and broken. So this is how the killer used to move around. There he is, or somebody is there.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours, unclouded by cataracts. His eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell two kids to put out their fire? Two twins?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position. Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
You've retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
How did you know I was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
But you didn't say that, Kim.
I did.
We have entered a world where he said you shouldn't. It is the only world.
It was not rock and roll, it was sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness, a weapon of the bourgeoisie.
Yes. Well, I think sadness is a product of bourgeoisie lifestyle.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate, hip gyrating, mental illness music.
Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
What kind of a rifle is that exactly?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
Southeast Samarin made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaron rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
He pats a rifle. The Shinya commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the ball.
His gaze turns inward.
It's not nice.
Is that a Bell Margrave?
It's a 3-Angong.
Okay.
Southeast.
A Samaron rifle.
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid. Fucking clowns.
I should have known they'd send the fucking clowns for me. You hear him mumble to the blackened logs.
Just gonna save, because there's gonna be
The
some
old
rolls
man
probably.
leans on the frame stock of his rifle, looking up at you.
Sir, I need you to put down the gun so we can talk further. We're with the police.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
Fine, that's... My authority is bad because I have stuff that gives minus, so it's gonna fail, yes, so... I'm glad I saved. Because I have to... I was thinking authority is probably gonna be good when we find the suspect. So yeah, let's get rid of this thing first. Yeah, dual wield melee weapons. This sounds good. Do we have any other authority +1? Do we have any like actual bonus to authority in the close? It was still would be nice to have some organized function. Really no authority at all. Okay. At least that we got rid of the pad. Then we don't get -2 authority, so that's already... okay, these pants gives. So let's try again.
The old man, the lieutenant.
You are a glorified...
The words, I am an enemy commander, sound cold as iron from your lungs. The old man still hugs his gun.
And what rank would that be, dog?
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
A big wheel of the 4th Regiment of the Pederast Army. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then stares at it just lying there.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, he stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
What did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present?
The present, to be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up to the sky. It's blue-gray, the same color as the sea. Those words the future teaches you?
Real music. Real projet cult. That's la Révacholière, not your rock and roll misanthropy. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
You need to address that remark.
I'm not a misanthrope, I'm a half-dead police officer who's just doing his job.
The job of a shitlicker.
What is a Révacholière?
It is the anthem of the world revolution. One of 3. In Grad, they sang brave children, favorites of history. And in Sinyao, it was some Samaran shit, I guess.
How does it go, the song?
How did it go?
He looks at his gun on the ground and shakes his head slowly.
Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
Pick up the gun lying in the sand.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire.
Inspect it
The
closer.
rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
It's as he said, it's Triangong made in Xinyao.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong, too.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
This uses jacketed ammunition for .46.
The right type and the right calibre.
The lieutenant nods, glancing at the gun.
He's liking this.
Stow the gun.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Is this really so difficult that you have to have medium difficulty to count this? You've been on this island for 43 years?
No. I've been on other islands too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
You said you deserted your unit?
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
And this was when?
The lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook, but then does not take it out.
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic?
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower.
He gestures toward it.
Huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon. But I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
He looks east.
A terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it. The shame and smallness of what he became.
You didn't go to the map room.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened at the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
He looks at the sky. What was that?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too. Shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
What?
That the bourgeois are not human.
I've always suspected the same.
Now is not the time, Lieutenant Jeffreter.
I had to fight it. I could not stop anymore.
The old man falls silent. His black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. So what's this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving
Understood.
defender.
I don't really want more information about it. How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
No,
We
hold
lie,
on
we
there.
cheat, we steal. What do you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
He coughs once more, then puts his hand on his belly.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
We have Dramamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his lips, dry lips. This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over, and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of...
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
I also have holes in my brain. Point to your head.
No wonder. All your minds are rotting from the radio waves. I watched the traitors of this city turn the lights back on. More and more each year. Ruins glittering in the dark like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years.
43 years and 10 months.
That's the length of my entire life.
It's too long. It's not how a human being should live. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water.
Where it's morning, on Rue de Saint-Gisley, people are walking. The gas street lights have already been switched off. Further inland, in general, the streets come alive with workers. Men, women, children rushing. Muddy avenue after muddy avenue. The temperature is rising. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk.
I think those are the 2 cops that came to Whirling in Rags a couple of days ago. Maybe we have to fight them in the end or something.
The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
I've been there. The city is a tinderbox. It may still happen.
It won't. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession would lighten the load.
What have you done then?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams.
How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the tens. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsoth coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequencies dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just...
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across water. The weapons cache under St. Ghislaine 22B. In the basement, have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right?
They were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
I don't know, it sounds weird to me, like communists complaining that, men should be more than animals, but they believe in, materialism. They don't... humanity has existed for, tens of thousands of years or hundreds of whatever. But communism has been around for, bit over 100 years. Or I don't know how long it has been in this world, in this game, but still, it's weird. Because, it's a small fraction of all of the history of mankind is, people have had truly communist thoughts. Like, of course, you can say people 2,000 years ago had some ideas that resemble communism, sure, but it's, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, one more question. Do you smoke Dio Mutiri cigarettes?
I do.
Ever smoked them on the mainland, Point Lancet?
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM. The coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. The so-called Lieutenant W. Freighter.
I know what it looks like, but I have secret pass to the RCM in the Mazovian Revolutionary Unit. Yeah, no. We enforce the law. We keep these animals from killing each other. Well, I should say we try.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International. The enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce land. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
His hand shakes and he breaks into a coughing fit. I just thought of something like, this is a, communist who's been believing in the cause for like 40 years since they lost the war. But there was a hey Watsaku, welcome to the stream. So he says, I assume because he's an idealist during the revolution, there was supposed to be a grander ideal that humans could overcome materialism, especially if you subscribe to communist beliefs. Okay, how do you overcome materialism with communism? A genuine question. But anyways, like in real life, in the real world, after World War II, there was some Japanese guy who was hiding in the Philippines for like 20 years. Like, I think he didn't believe that the war was over or something. So it's like, I wonder if there were any. Well, of course, communism didn't disappear after the war or anything. So I just wonder if there are, in real life, any communists this devoted to the cause as this guy. And then Watsaku, material conditions can't be escaped no matter where you are. Yeah, I agree, at least unless there's some great enlightenment or, I don't know, shift in the nature of reality. So yeah, anyways, let's move on.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
the Communards signed the Revacholian Instrument of Surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
I do think it's honorable.
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class.
I sort of like the guy. Okay, Vatsaku says, it's a lofty ideal to want to eliminate this human desire to covet, to want. It's not a great evil force that holds us back from an idealistic future where everyone comes together under one ideology. It's humanity that does that. But yeah, I agree that it's a lofty ideal to want to eliminate the desire to covet. However, you should also have a sense of reality, like, for example, you can say it's a lofty ideal to want to end death, but if you try to do that, you will probably cause more harm than good. Like, for example, money. Like, they say love of money is the root of all evil, and, personally, in an ideal world, the way I see an ideal world, there would be no money. But like, if you start building a society based on the, obsession that we cannot use money, in the end it's gonna go worse. Like, unless there's like some true enlightenment for all of humanity. So Vatsaku says, absolutely, but if you want to escape reality, you are not going to get anywhere. But a minor tweak, a small change to human perception, that's much more doable. Sure, but I don't think, eliminating the desire to covet, that's a big tweak. That's not a minor tweak. Like, I guess you could say it's that's a departure from reality. Yeah, I agree. It's a very, like, of course you can try to reduce people's covetousness somewhat. Like, that might theoretically be doable, but it's still quite difficult. But anyways, let's continue. So you're a communist soldier from the communist army.
No, I am not a soldier. I'm an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism. then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Wait, what does a political commissar do?
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the commune.
The lieutenant says softly.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
So Watsuku says, I see this character as what he is, behind the indoctrination, theory, ideals, and the party. He's a bitter old man at the end of his rope, clinging on to times that are long gone. Yeah, absolutely. But I do sort of respect it. Like, I'm not a fan of communism, but, you know, I can see it from his perspective. Like, you know, back then, when he was 16 years old and he joined the military, I can, you know, understand. You know, I can understand, you know, in the real world why 100 years ago people would be drawn to communism. That's much more understandable back then than now, because now we have the, you know, we can look at history and say that, you know, it hasn't worked the best in the world. And not saying that any other system is perfect either, but anyways, let's move on. So that means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
So Watsuku, of course we all age and the times move on without us. We lose touch and become relics of the past. Yeah. But sometimes I think it's good to be a relic of the past, especially if the present sucks. I don't know. Okay, I'm a nationalist, by the way. I guess I'll say that. I don't really... I don't think there's much point in, like, aggravating this guy, but it's also, you know, sort of lame just to be neutral or say nothing, so...
You're a lumpen with a gun.
He looks away. A lumpen prole, I think it means.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology.
So, of course, it serves as a tool to see what the world was like. Yeah, and I think, you know, everybody is deluded to a certain degree. Like, you know, nobody truly sees reality the way it is. So we are all affected by it. So maybe sometimes, you know, especially when you get really old, it is a coping mechanism. You know, not to really to admit to yourself how the world has changed, and you stick to your old views of how things are or how they should be. And I'm not saying it's even bad. Like, you know, if you are really old and stuff, it's very difficult to change your view of the world and stuff in certain respects. Well, especially if you are old, also it can be a thing if you're young. But anyways.
We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
Yeah. So there's no such thing as truth, only interpretations. This man subscribes to an interpretation that leaves him how he is now. I disagree. I think there is truth in certain issues. Like, you know, I do think it is there is a truth to, you know, whether Jesus Christ existed or whether he was you know, just a man or whether he was truly God. Like, you know, that's something that happened 2,000 years ago, so we cannot know it. You know, we cannot have scientific confirmation either way, I believe, of that. But, you know, regardless of our inability to know the truth, I think the truth exists, and I think that applies to most issues, that there is truth, but we can only see, you know, glimpses of the truth.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body. There's definitely something off with his body. Something more than just metabolism or even cancer.
I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
So what's this composure? Should
I
I
ain't going.
I guess I should put on some composure clothes and then try to figure that thing out. This is composure. How about this? Anything else? Okay, I have +2 to composure. How much XP? Oh, I have so many. Okay, maybe I can put one more point to composure, since why not? What's this?
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
My magnesium level is fine. I don't wanna focus on that. So, Watsaku says there's a series of events that happened as to how, why, who, when, and exactly what. That's all up to interpretation. Most of us can agree on the broad things, but the difference of the divides when deeper scrutiny is applied brings those interpretations to light. But I'll let you continue with the narrative at hand. I don't want to detract from the conclusion of the game like this too much. Thanks. I do appreciate it. It's like, especially I think it suits this game because this game clearly wants to, like, you know, encourage discussion about politics and stuff. But like, okay, another example, because I do think there's truth. Like, you know, that JFK assassination. You know, somebody shot him. That's a fact. And whether, you know, and there's somebody who knows what happened. Like, you know, the people who were involved in it, or at least knew. Maybe they're dead by now. But like, you know, most people in the world, they only have, we have, you know, glimpses of who actually did it. Whether it was Lee Harvey Oswald, or, you know, CIA or FBI or who knows what, or communists or time-traveling Nazis or whoever. But like, you know, the people who did it certainly know the truth behind it.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
For a 60-year-old...
Okay, save scum time.
Minions of capital.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild,
he's surprisingly okay.
Indeed. He speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Animated? By what?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system.
Dementia?
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid. Keen even. Not senile.
Mr. Droz, are you okay? How is your memory?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course.
Okay, let's save and then talk to him about the
minions of capital.
The reason why we are here. What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. Okay, go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
He keeps shaking his head erratically. Suddenly he brushes something out of his eye.
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Okay, did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenel?
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
The corpse in the ceramic armor hanging behind whirling in rags. Do you shoot him?
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant takes a sudden step toward him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
I just read this. You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him. Okay, I guess start with this. We've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Druss. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
You said fascist, you're admitting you killed him?
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
He waves his hand, there's a twitch, then one more right in the eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. Show him that Trojan gone for 46.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your musketeer pistols. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting.
Stop changing the subject. We had the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
The lieutenant looks at the weapon demonstratively. Dramatically ask, you think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
I'm calling it we have the murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook, draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tying things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more, he just glances into the reeds and twitches once more.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
You're a communist. I talked to the dead man, he told me communism killed him.
Stupid twat.
He scoffs.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eye. Not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
It was intuition. Had he spoken, he would have said communism killed him.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. It reeks of crypto-fascism. The parasite class use intuition to justify their rank in life. It's all just palmistry and magic. Earl creatures.
What are Earl creatures?
Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
He looks at the air, then turns to the lieutenant.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked. Yeah, this just did nothing. But still, somehow you knew it was a communist.
How?
Perhaps you suspected it before you took the case. The vision was you remembering that.
But this did nothing.
Was it supposed to?
I will look deeper then.
The inland sea is
Okay,
dark.
turn back to him.
Standing there, slack-jawed.
Come on, what am I
festering.
forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of the head.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells.
Yeah.
The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh yes.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window. Show him the dried flower.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
A young woman called Glacia, ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Glacia.
You know her, right? She had an intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent, and the muscles in his jaw twitch a spasm.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer, armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer, dripping with blood.
He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
He breathes through his through flared nostrils.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Just nod.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own, and so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
The lieutenant asks after a second of silence.
Yes.
A single word is all he gives.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
He shrugs, then smacks his lips.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side and turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
You pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You've got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
Okay, when did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
By that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep?
Wrinkled up whore.
He nods. Good, whore, good strong word. I use it often myself.
Yes, old-fashioned.
Moving on, the victim arrives sometime after her.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mest phalanx weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Whites?
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst one, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second. Writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But...
He shrugs.
You can't have everything.
He wants to see her covered in blood, to punish her.
You wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
He shakes his head and stares at the ashes.
While he stands here and rots.
You saw through her, so did I.
You're delusional. There's nothing to see in the soul of the bourgeois woman. It's the same as the surface. Sick hedonism and desperation.
I don't think communists believe in souls, so this comment is out of place. I don't know. I don't like any of these comments. I don't know. I'm not like that. I don't like things like that.
No one gives a shit what you think. You and your cronies kill 10 working class men a day. I've heard the statistics on Channel 8.
How long have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
This is the hidden buoy she told us about. You looked into it?
After she was gone.
He nods.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
This implies that he's thought about extorting her. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
But her name is not Clausia, it's Katarina or something. You saw her name on the passport, but before, when I said her name is Clausia, you didn't seem to recognize it.
You didn't say Clausia in there.
He shakes his head. What did it say her name was in the passport?
It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember her face on the photo.
Are you sure we checked the submersible? There was nothing there.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
Okay, moving on. Did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body, hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises, You can't make that out in a scope.
And you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
He shakes his silver grey head. How did you get close enough to see the bruises, Mr. Drows?
I have my ways.
A cracked smile appears on his dried white lips. What ways? Tell me.
Not in this lifetime, Dwat.
He waves you off with a cough, his thoughts elsewhere.
This one's gone. Make up somehow. Connect something else. Fast. You lost it.
One little thing missed and I drown in anxiety.
Rightly so. Fix this now. Push on extra carefully.
You had feelings for that woman?
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No.
He starts to shake his head again, a sunflower on a withered stalk. So maybe he was using like the doors there or something in the whirling in rags to, you know, spy on her or something. Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of our room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Watchaku says peephole perhaps. Yeah, could be. But there's a door leading to her balcony and a door in the kitchen of the place, so we couldn't open them, so somebody's probably used them at some point. Okay, you wanted to console her?
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
He wipes his eye.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes. One more down.
So in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her. I don't know, this is somehow poetic that, it's like the Garden of Eden or some shit like that. It's about the woman, not the guy.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, and the reed stares at twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
We arrested her.
Locked up with your masters, like I'll be. Maybe we'll meet. She kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, like she knew. Staring at the island. The fort. Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Across the harbour, on the south bank of the River Esperance, white snow falls on a 2-storied box of duraluminum, Precinct 57, near the gates to Terminal H.
Look east.
Inside a cell, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol all at once, while 2 men in brown suits wave ICP badges at a young policeman. She hears the door open and knows it's over. They've come for her. Outside, it's springtime. The river flows blue and green into the Bay of Martinez. There, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a seafort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstein is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the three walk down the jetty. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification in the snowfall, like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar pat-pat-pat of hatred.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries.
He points inland. Oh no, the racists.
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Anything more?
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he missed. That's all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Lausanne, or Coyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
Say nothing.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead.
Now I have some questions about this.
We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
He breathes in his breath heavy with hatred. You cannot make out a single word.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
There was something about the statue and the roundabout and syphilis.
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Good, now that's settled. Disco horse?
Horse.
Is all he says. Even the word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. The rage seethes too hard. You mentioned the Union is social democratic and Mr. Clare is a farce of a social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
No argument there.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who's disappointment? Everard Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Is it the brother or...
That mobster toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education. His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
We're not the first people you've met from the city, are we?
You can't live alone.
Just stop poking at the ash now, just shakes his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clares asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
He punched the path leading to the tower.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was the man who the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clares came to power.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzoff. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here?
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Mr. Dross, did you kill Crenel mercenary? Kill the Crenel mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwight. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for that. But he's insinuating something. There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost.
Why is my logic so low? It cannot be retried. Okay, I think I will fail it, but by the cock parading in his colorful uniform, you mean Rene?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A patank maniac, race traitor.
Just
I
nod.
remember him. I remember him from Lanos. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the Liberals came to their rescue. We missed one, that one.
With his shaky finger, he points to the city, toward the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
You'd like to kill him?
Not yet.
But he's dead, isn't he?
I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bonbon melt in my mouth.
Save the treat for later?
The lieutenant asks cheerfully.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock renee. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel.
He lets out a wistful sigh.
Better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
Yeah, okay. Bad arthritis, yes. He's not playing this week.
Yes, of course. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood. Must be torture. Not to be throwing his balls for a whole week.
He seems relieved. Could he have been worried for him? He reminds him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of another thing.
Okay, I guess.
It's just the hatred.
Sure. Let's put a couple of points to logic since we have lots of points. Let's see if it
The
succeeds.
collection
Yes.
comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
Hey.
A sputter from the old man.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation and money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
His eyes glisten suddenly with hatred. And she was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Glacia.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
He squints and smiles at the black logs.
No, that's not quite it.
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
You could swear you see the embers glow again under his eyes and some dust. Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is. The bend in the river.
Why?
Because she was dead.
How come?
Because the cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal, grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job on a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt. someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her and the ruins.
You shot her?
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sobbed. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal.
Sputter again, nothing more.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
The lieutenant says in a voice even calmer as if there were nothing at all.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
He looks to the city.
The same old freezing hatred. There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
Yes, I'm glad we talked about it.
Glad? It's all gone.
I guess I can just, well, I can save, finally.
The old man stares.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll arrest him.
The logs. It's
Yosef Lilianovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of the Colonel here in Martinez.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Kim, he's afraid.
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Perception, hearing, wait.
You thought you heard something, but it's just the...
Okay, I really want to succeed in that. Maybe it's the cops. Either, well, it's in the reeds, so there is something in the reeds. Wait, do I have any other perception stuff to wear? I still would like to have some Argonaut, you know. Put all the perception stuff on. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'd forgotten. But yeah, to put all the perception stuff on top or something. It would be so nice to have a function like that. I guess that's all, but hey, it's at least a little bit of bonus.
The old man stares.
What?
The wind.
Your wave. Do you?
But... No.
He's sweating.
Your confirmation is not required, sir.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it,
What?
something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
What, is it a bug? Like the cryptid bug? What?
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Shush, Kim, do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this really us?
Your skin crawls.
Is somebody gonna assassinate him or something? It is the cryptid. That's big. I wasn't expecting it to be so big.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
Link?
It's still there, an unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin, hovering in place.
What is that? I know what it is.
What are you talking about?
The old man looks at the reeds, then at you. The giant stick insect.
There's nothing there.
He looks
The
confused.
stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster, but you don't have a gun.
There is. I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
If he can see it too, then you're not totally insane.
Logic.
But that could mean it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
I wasn't expecting this, like, you know. The lieutenant whispers and takes a step toward the giant arthropod. Okay, I really have to save.
The
You come
creature
in peace?
stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something. You, reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch.
Your corpse will be marked by stars. What? Listen carefully.
You smell.
Whisper. This is the Insulindian phasmid.
It is.
The lieutenant whispers behind you. You hear a familiar ring on his jacket unzipping slowly, painstakingly so.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera.
Are you sure you won't scare it off?
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
He continues to pull the lens
From
open.
the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear.
Stop, let me approach it first.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
He has stopped fiddling with the camera but does not put it down.
You see the phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
I have the pheromone, I can approach it.
I don't think the pheromone will do anything.
His whisper turns to his skeptical hiss, but he has stopped now.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air.
Okay,
We can't just leave it standing there. We have to do something.
You've never seen him get this excited.
Okay,
His
okay.
voice is almost trembling.
Yes.
Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Sweat drips from your brow. Soak in your chest. You reek of it. Your chemicals. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's smelling you. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Look behind you, it's smelling me. Is it gonna eat my head if I do
Maybe
that?
it is real. The pheromone.
The lieutenant's mouth is agape.
About now, he is ready to believe in anything. The insect's head is crowned with reed-like scales, the shape of seed heads. They rustle as the air moves. The ventricles at its abdomen continue expanding, like lunglets, breathing you in, your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze.
Raise your hand slowly.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence.
Raise the other hand too.
As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you.
Whisper, that's right, pray.
Unwittingly, the insect continues its stridulations. As it moves, tuft-like structures, still pretending to be plants, rustle along on its joints. Perhaps it is preparing to eat its god.
Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes, look more closely.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish.
Kim, it's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
Lieutenant watches you apprehensively.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating.
Okay.
The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one.
Tell me, what are you doing?
I exist.
I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you.
Fire burning.
Fire? Where?
Inside.
I do not have fire inside me. In me, there is not even blood, but lymph, like sap from a one palm. Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist.
Intruded upon? By what?
Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never burn.
I'm glad to be me, an incredibly sensitive instrument.
Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you, with all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
It was very disorienting at first, but I'm keeping my shit together.
That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on, rooting for you. And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
I'm just wondering, is the communist guy is he still there, or is he escaping, or I don't know, killing himself while we're not focused on the bug?
Detective.
Oh.
Arriving. On the scene.
Yes, okay, I'm a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
The killer.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only quicken his deterioration.
You are destroying him?
Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
Is this a dream? What's happening?
No, you are awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Where does this come from? All this around us, the world?
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
We need to know. Perhaps it's sent to us by a god.
I think we should eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Or read. Yum yum.
Yum yum. What exactly are you?
I am an all-known species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindia insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molting, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys, and went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and officials of the occupation. Even the Samanese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Rebelshaw, district of Martinez, March 51.
That's insane.
No, you are. The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively median life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile senior nerve system ominously new to the planet. The pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
What? And what are Cnidarians? Wait, the pale is human-made?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, all-natural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I don't have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
How?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Worse how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget?
Blink quick.
Please, do not do that again.
Have I always thought this way?
No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
This is the gloaming I've been waiting for ever since I woke up in the hotel room.
So, it is already happening. One day, one of you will close your eyes
Opener
and
of the
sun
8th seal, I
and
got
open
some
them to see that
achievement.
none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
What does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
Then I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Sort of.
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all creatures I've met, you are the kindest.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman. Turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Forever show.
What woman?
You cannot lie to me. Behind you is now fires. So awfully far you were prepared to go in her presence. And it.
I'll try.
She was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3 meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay, Kim, take the picture.
Okay.
With a slow ring of metal, the lieutenant slides the open lens and raises it to the eye level.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you. The sweat on your arms feels cold as ice, as if you're frozen as well, in the shadow of this great statue of chitinous marble.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reeds in the sky, and you as a shadow before it. Slowly reach out and touch the creature's whisker.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold, ticklish.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Carefully pet its scythe-like forearm.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing.
Yeah, I don't really want to start making out with it or anything. Pull your hand away.
A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like
maybe I can get the
is awakening.
bug sex
Wave by wave
achievement if I
stupor.
try, but I'm not really into.
Some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think.
We got it.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying.
Disengage
As you're
slowly.
turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
I hope I got everything out of it that I was supposed to get. But that was weird. Like this game is weirder than I expected.
Just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water and something under it. In the place it stood, bobbing there among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
The lieutenant looks north with his hand raised on his brow. It can... What's that in the reeds?
It's like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
It can walk on water?
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only I've never seen anything like that in my life.
What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Okay. Let's see. I still haven't unlocked this cleaning up rooms. Clean your room. It's the, you know, what's his name? Kermit guy. Oh, fair weather. Okay, that's the helmet. Rifle scope. So can I attach it to the gun? Okay, whatever. So the helmet. Sure, let's put it on. It's sort of buggy, looks like a bug, and also gonna be like Fallout. What's this? Oh, Klaas's passport. Where's the passport? Here.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Oranje, is issued to a black-haired woman called Katarzyna Alazie.
At least that name was... Ah, yeah, Jordan Peterson, exactly. Yes. Thank you, Hatsaku. So yeah, when she told us the name Katarzyna Alazie, that was correct, I guess. Or, well, who knows what her original name is.
Classius hidden documents from the MT boy.
Look at the photo.
It's Klaasje, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow.
What was this doing in the Phasmid's nest?
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classius, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or...
I think the Phasmid took it.
Like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual. I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod. Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classius, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or...
Yeah, I guess I should have said this. The Phasmid took it, I sensed it, it do so. I saw something open up the buoy with spindly legs.
Like a magpie? What a...
By now, the lieutenant has accepted your unusual methods.
Yeah.
I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior.
Okay. It says Katarzyna Alazie.
She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer-Smith.
Ah, yeah, she also said that name. Okay.
Katarzyna Alazie was supposed to be her real name, where Klaasje comes from. Remember? God damn it. I told you she kept on lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now. Another detective.
Katarzyna Alazie was supposed to be her real name. She lied to us.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now.
The lieutenant smiles. But hey, at least we arrested her. What's her real name then?
I don't know. But it was not Katarzyna Alazie, or Anouk Meyer-Smith, or Klaasje. Whoever she is, when we get back, I need to warn our holding cells. We need to double the security around her.
Put the passport away. Okay, let's get back to arresting this guy.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Sir, how could you not see the Phasmid?
See?
He stares at the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking.
Snap your fingers under his nose.
A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
He looks at you, then looks at him, and then you. I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke?
Yeah, it's some mind control stuff.
Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated.
He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse.
Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the phasmid.
It does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall.
He takes off his glasses and cleans them. When he puts them back on, he's still staring at the sea. Could it be there's something hormonal in his relationship to the phasmid?
You mean pheromonal?
He seemed a little off for a man his age, Randy.
The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition toward Miss Orania. I see what you mean.
I talked to the phasmid. It said it's destroying him.
You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you?
Maybe anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect.
It's a valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching unknown species in the future, detective.
Yeah, that's good advice for... Was it Alien Prometheus? Because there was some, alien cave snake thingy, and they were just, the humans is like, oh, let's play with it. And of course it kills one of them, and that was such a stupid movie. Anyways, he couldn't see it, Kim, it's just a reach for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dross.
He touches the man's shoulder.
No response.
Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it...
Yes, you forget it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds?
The old man stutters.
The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it in his company.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe.
He looks at his notebook.
I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it.
We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should...
show him the detached scope.
I lost...
You lost it, Mr. Dross?
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid.
The lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in your hand.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
Tap the helmet on your head.
Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left, wherever he is.
Scientist deciding to just poke random shit. What are you referring to, Vatsaku?
The last embers have gone out. The war is over.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the Phasmid even.
Ah,
If
yeah,
it
yeah,
did,
Prometheus.
this is
I already
incredible.
forgot about it, that I mentioned it. Yeah, not eager to go see Romulus either. Like, plenty of people say that the beginning is good, but the end is horrible. Okay, show him the Orange's passport.
No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he appears very old all of a sudden. Around 80.
Did you take this passport and other papers from the boy on the course?
The spirit.
Ah, so the bug is the
He
spirit.
hears us. The spirit?
No reply. He's gone again.
Try something else? We got
Okay,
him
I'm
back
going
for
to
a
let
minute.
you rest now, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched, and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength has all gone out of him. Just frail old bones in a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker.
Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
So we're just gonna leave him here? Is that a good idea? Should we at least, I don't know, drag him indoors? You know, there's rain and stuff. So maybe the cops are gonna ambush us or something. Is there gonna be a shootout? Wait, did we come from this way or this way? I think we came from this way. Romulus was a spiritual return to form, gets a little weird, but it isn't bad, but it is painfully British. Okay. So we... Okay, let's check the other entrance here. Oh, no, okay, now I get it. Okay, this is the mattress. I thought there was like a cave or something here. Okay, I'm dumb. Okay. I got lots of sanity back from somewhere, and so I don't need to rest or anything. I guess there's probably gonna be, you know, some sort of, not necessarily like a shootout, but like, you know, some challenge, whether it's the cop or somebody else, like, you know, some... The stairs feel ancient, soldiers' feet ran up them long ago, okay.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's return to the mainland.
Yes, we are done here.
He says, adjusting his glasses as he looks out over the water.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet, but for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
So, where are the waiters waiting? Okay.
Look what the tide brought him.
Says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his head.
I want to call you a teapot, but I'm honestly kind of impressed. No idea where you got all that gear, but there's no doubt in my mind that some bad people are looking for it. Also, you look like a fucking idiot.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Who is the man with sunglasses? Is it the guy who's been sitting there? Wait, you're the man with sunglasses.
That's right. And you're some kind of murder machine.
Forget about this. There's a giant.
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
He points at you with both hands. The armor? No one seems bothered by it.
Oh, really? They don't seem bothered by it? That's because you're a cop in an exoskeleton.
Yeah, I'm a cop in a goddamn exoskeleton.
Actually, are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on, it's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein.
This
I
guy.
believe we've met on several occasions.
Several? I thought we only met once.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Comar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstein, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisoragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
He adds, suddenly regaining his confidence.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Way to feed me to the wolves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
He says warmly, flashing the lieutenant the tiniest of smiles.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
What's this about?
Harry, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiotic. You should never address her using those words again.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets. Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
What's a shit kid?
You. Shit kid? That's you.
Maybe you've deserved it.
How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
After all that Sylvie stuff, he betrays me.
Shit, kid. He didn't betray you. He just told us the direction you went in. Who's Sylvie?
Sylvie's a horse. She rides a cock carousel and foreigners. Yeah, I have to say, that's such a good comment.
Super. Whore. Foreigners. Hatred.
And people on the street helped us too.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk.
You're the man with the sunglasses at all. You aren't the man with the sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true, and it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Maybe if you hadn't been so sarcastic, I would have realized I knew you.
I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to batter you up after you told us to fuck off.
Actually, I suspected something was off.
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember.
He's right. Don't start guessing. Now's not a good time. You, not to the female officer. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you before.
It's okay. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither did he, actually. We're just worried.
That's right. Worried. I'm always worried about you. Every time you don't show up to work, or when you do about stink, you're a worry fest. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you. Even Special Consultant Backpedal is worried about you. Everyone worries instead of working.
So Trent Hiddleston turns out to be Special Consultant Trent Hiddleston.
Yes, I'm Trent Hiddleston. I never said I wasn't Trent Hiddleston.
Wait, what was up with the kid then?
Mikael? Mikael's my son.
Oh yeah, what was up with all the interesting history spying on me?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikael wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
So, what are you special consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on.
You mentioned the task force?
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory. Who else is in this?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trump fucking Hiddleston, and Guillaume Baby.
He stares at you.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
First, who's Guillaume Baby?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Baby is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Trump because I'm forcing him to stay.
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses?
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde with sunglasses like you were?
See? There. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me, I'm G. Bevy. It was going to be funny, but then you really did have brain damage. So not so much anymore.
He sincerely thought it was going to be amusing. For both of you.
Okay, so what does the unit do?
It's a Major Crimes Unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
The 41st isn't...
He trails off, not finishing to finish the sentence. Where have you been all this time? There was a mercenary tribunal.
God damn it, Harry.
He shifts his weight, crosses his arms, looks you in the eye.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
Yeah, all will burn, Satellite Officer Wickmar. Wickmar? Yeah, whatever. Make no mistake about it.
Here we go. Alcoholic delirium. Visions. All must pay.
He shakes his head. Duped again. No one's who they say they are.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Gardener, scab leader, this, turn to the lieutenant. Tell me at least you are who you said you were.
Yes, I'm still Kinki Soragi, still a lieutenant from Precinct 57.
Still caught up in this crossfire, too.
None of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, e-solar, hell, and so on.
I didn't forget the definition of money, but it's more like you give me the option to ask about it, I will ask about it.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and Why not socioeconomically?
Wait, socioeconomically, you think I'm so poor I lost my memory?
Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory. I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia, but still, I don't think it should be off the table here.
What? He lost his memory because of capitalism?
No, not like that. I'm not talking Vredefort School here. But Harry...
It's Frankfurt School.
What do you think happened?
Yeah, okay. It's obviously Frankfurt School. Yeah. Well, of course it could be that, you know, I drank so much I lost my memory and I'm slowly recovering it. But of course it might have something to do with an anomaly in the church, a 2mm hole in the world.
Corresponding to the 20cm hole in your brain. Sure. This theory has great symmetry. I see how it folds into itself neatly.
Precisely, Satellite Officer Vicmere. It's Martinez.
Take this seriously. I suspect there might be something wrong with Martinez.
This sounds odd, but I was there. The church on the coast was shaking from an audio-spatial anomaly. It may have been anthroponetic or perhaps related to radio waves. Either way, it was real. I've even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not, however, think it has anything to do with him drinking himself to the point of brain damage.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think his other anthroponetics are a hoax. Pale produces global phenomena. It's proven. However, what has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Komodo Red. Honestly, I think he's just lying to us.
How did you discover exactly what was going on in the church? I think so. I think maybe there's something more, but yeah, there's some, you know, small hole in reality and it's related to the Pale. Do you know what the Pale is in this game? I don't know how much you've been watching, or have you played the game yourself?
But Detective Vicmere, he has blanked out before.
I have?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
So we were in the church before we looked into the mural. But yeah, yes, the Pale is forming inside the church. Yeah, so yeah, it's that's what I find out. I don't know if there's anything else to find out, but yeah, I figured it out.
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here.
He gestures toward the scenery.
Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input.
So yeah, that's all. There's just a lot of chances to fail that and the chance to get the best ending. Okay, so maybe I will get the best ending then. We'll see. Of course, I probably did do lots of saves coming, you know, re-rolling until I succeed, because I think that's just the best way to play this game, because you don't want to start from the beginning like several different playthroughs.
Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trump, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad.
I know you passed that chance long time. Okay, I
be
will
able
get
to
the
work
best
in the
end.
major crimes unit. Is he a Cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a Cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
I'm ready to lead again.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
I thought the killer would be underwater. He wasn't.
Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho. Underwater killer. So funny, Harry. Thank you for fucking me. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're gonna get fired. And I'm gonna pay till I die. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
Wait, my badge?
The thing that tells people you're a police officer.
I got my badge right here. Show it to them.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
Okay, try to catch it. No!
You juggle the badge for a second, unsuccessfully, and it lands on the ground, some 2 meters away. Ouch! You strained your elbow trying to catch that
That's
stupid
embarrassing.
thing. Damn it.
He has it. He has it, Jean. It's his badge.
And your gun?
The man stares at you unimpressed.
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements. Gun. Yeah, you don't have that. Maybe you can philosophize your way out of it.
Gun, just repeat gun.
Yeah, gun. The thing that was given to you to kill people.
I upgraded my gun to a rifle. Present the Tringong 446 rifle.
Upgraded it. I don't care about your weapon mania, Harry. I only care about your official sidearm, which you lost.
This is Tringong 446. It was used to kill a man from nearly a kilometer away.
I don't care. Where is the gun the RCM gave you to kill people with? Where is that one?
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have my sidearm.
I knew it. I told you we didn't have it.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad.
Oh, I would say it's very bad. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Please, put the stolen rifle away before you kill someone.
I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again. Yeah, that's right. I haven't drank any alcohol since that game started.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week and he's handled an actual corpse.
Wait, maybe it's because of the pheromone.
Detective, please. Don't start talking about your pheromone again. This is serious. If you don't...
She doesn't finish the sentence. Yeah, I handled an actual corpse.
I don't believe you. You're drunk. You let a suspect escape, a certain Ruby, because you were too drunk to take her in.
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
She caught us in a pale latitude compressor. You know how much that hurts? Well, no, this is the truth. I let her go. It was an act of mercy. She was going to shoot herself if I didn't.
Oh, well, if you let her go. I'm not even gonna get into the 80 other suspects you haven't brought in. Because it's hard. Or the fact that you very likely sold your gun for booze. That's peanuts. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 7 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot and survived only because of his armor. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
I also solved the case. It's solved, all of it.
Detective, it's better if I do that.
He said in a lower.
It's so much better if he does this. 1,000,000 times better.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs.
He thinks of apologizing, but decides against it.
You've spent a week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar law official. At first I thought it was a joke, but now I'm not so sure. He says disco about 20 times a day. It's worrying, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a fascist, a far-right woman hater, and of course, also into race stuff, which, for a police officer, not good.
How is he a fascist? Like, with the the suspect or the killer? I could have told him I'm a fascist, but I said I'm a nationalist. There's a difference, and I don't know. How am I into like woman hater race stuff? Like, having some views leaning that way is different than being like full-blown something. I disagree.
Others still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind, which I guess goes well with some of his racism. I don't know. He is vocal about both beliefs, though.
So they present similarly, but there are unique differences. I think it's more like there's gradations. Like, you can be, it's a spectrum. You can be a little bit of this, little bit of that, and stuff. And anyways.
And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the drugs, of course, amphetamine mostly. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
So as you can see, I'm a pretty okay detective and an absolutely giant fascist now. Maybe this one is the best. Like, Hosiana is okay, but I like this one. Boom shakalaka, motherfucker.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective?
Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation.
The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
His tired eyes follow the photo as the lieutenant puts it away.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
Okay. I guess I just have to say all of this. I also started a nightclub in a church.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church.
Yeah, and I discovered a hitherto unexplored exponential anthroponetical phenomenon in there too, a 2-millimeter hole in the world.
Get a grip. No one cares about your anthroponetic adventures right now.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
Also, the phasmid was female. The reeds are its nest.
Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
It turns to you. It had gathered items in the nest, a helmet, scope, passport.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
I still think it was female.
Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. It must be robust if it can move a whole helmet with its limbs.
I think it reproduces by parthenogenesis. Oh yeah, that's what the cryptozoologist said.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
It told me?
Mm-hmm. Then it wouldn't matter if it's male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior from before the parthenogenetic mutation.
That makes sense. Yes.
Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here.
It had mandibles that looked like hair and it was completely white on the inside.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even discovers the Insulindian phasmid. No, that's too much.
This would really help with some of the problems we've been having.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest. You know, it's a really good thing you have that photo.
Without it.
He shakes his head.
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still. Quit while you're ahead? Or no?
The killer Lilianovich draws. We have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
A revolutionary matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lilian, his Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
Well, I think it's both jealousy and phasmids, semiochemicals. Well, I guess he killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man, to have been hiding for 50 years, like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that.
It's more than that, it's perfect folding mechanism like the phasmid.
Perfect folding mechanism. Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there. Like in your bones or something.
The previous head of Debardier Union was assassinated by our killer. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that the guy actually did it. It's most likely.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
The lieutenant lowers his voice just a little.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
I also looked into the mystery of the doomed commercial area.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is.
The curse turned out to be possibly I guess I'll explain. Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10, a commercial building where all the businesses go bankrupt. I looked into it.
Why? That's not what you were supposed to do here.
There was a fridge we needed and a possible witness. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay.
Of course. Call it community.
I don't know what it is. The curse turned out to be possibly anthroponetical, part of the larger investigation into Martinez itself.
No, it didn't. It didn't turn out to be anthroponetical again. Enough with the Solary Pale 2mm hole in the world line. This isn't Paradox B. We're a police force.
I don't know what is Paradox B, but, you know, if it's really gonna, I don't know, destroy the world eventually, it's relevant.
Paradox B is a fringe science magazine published in Grad. Its mission is to explain theories like telekinesis and intra-esolary power before they get out of hand. It doesn't look like the lieutenant wishes you to push this angle, for cut it out is indeed what he is.
Okay, so what do you say? Wanna take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the matter.
He shrugs.
So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Quick nod.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
Wait, I have a few questions before we go about who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
Before?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
No way, I was a rock and roll singer.
You haven't told us about that. You just told us about being a gym teacher.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Harry,
Actually, it
explains
nothing.
Everything. The running around, the jumping, the shot put, your inexplicable facial hair.
The collection of farm sportswear I've amassed.
The fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is, and how you're able to perform a 360-degree spin kick too.
Oh god, contact Mike.
Of course. Contact Mike.
He's been on about Mike again. I hate that guy.
Contact Mike is a reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle of open competition. A 5,001 rank outsider.
Oh, you don't say. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege?
It is getting cold out.
Okay. When was this? When I was a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
You said in Coron I was a gym teacher there?
Yes, you taught gym in Coron. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
The smell of sweat and glue, the worn floorboards. Kuro is just east of Jamro. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field or the sports building.
High school. Harry, your goings on with Kuno, Andre, Acel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
Why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
Okay, I see now. I don't really see it.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
I think that the author of this game has something for gym teachers, some like love-hate relationship or something. You know, maybe he's gay and he was into his gym teacher in high school, but the gym teacher was an asshole. You know, I'm getting that sort of vibe. Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the damage.
Some chick who?
Dora something. Dora Engeland. Yeah, you mentioned the name.
Not Dora Dubois.
So we weren't even married?
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago. She was way before my time.
6 years?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Engelund really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
Huh?
She was extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin.
The gym teacher thing exists simply to explain an alcoholic in terrible shape who can walk for 18 hours a day. Maybe, but, you know, he could have been an athlete. You know, why gym teacher? Like, there was some subtle thing about, like, you know, gym teacher being this, I don't know, this mysterious class, or sort of like a paladin or something.
Heartbreak Welkin. Pain Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was, one you never recuperated from.
Look,
athlete is too prestigious for a common person.
It's time to go.
Well, he could have been like a, you know, Olympic athlete or whatever to explain the running thing.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river, way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
Okay, am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre?
No.
No, because the suspect seemed to think...
You're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
He would immediately backpedal out of it.
41, what kind of station is it?
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed. And everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
He tilts his head northward.
Get back to it. We left Thorson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Thorson and McLean?
Mac the Torso Thorson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic though, Thorson and McLean.
An iconic duo, I take it?
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here?
And the Sea Wing is...
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
He's anything but a loser, although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way.
Price
Ptolemy
is...
Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
I like his name, Ptolemy. You know, nobody's been named that in a couple of thousand years probably, but I appreciate it.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours him coffee. It's silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May.
Did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why did we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
He means it. The RCM and its enemies will not be discussed on this coast. Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
So I work for the Bloody Murder Station.
Okay, it's not the Bloody Murder Station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershore. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
Okay, the Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about it ASAP.
Who is Lena?
A cryptozoologist, she lives in Jamrock. She told me about this Phasmid.
Well, good luck finding her once we get back.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. I'm sure we'll find them. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
She is going to be over the moon.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective. We just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
He pulls up his collar, looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lenses of his glasses.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind.
Want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I meant investigate, come work in Precinct 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit him. And crazy enough, can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a lot.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
The lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
Recruit Detective Kim Katsuragi. I got achievement. Yeah.
He's really considering it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Good.
She looks at you, then Wickmore.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Huddleston? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's quite unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through, and when he does, he'll side with Revachol. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
End. Or does this look different? Is it like, the game will actually end? Is just gonna be the credits, or is there still gonna be something? Looks like maybe this is the end. The gloves. I think I had 2 pairs of gloves in this game, I think. Can you get more? Oh yeah, he has a limp. I actually didn't notice it before. Like, of course they say that he has a limp, but I didn't really pay attention to it myself before. How did they get the car here? I guess the bridge is down, because there's the walk bridge we use, but there's some bigger bridge. Okay, I guess that's it. So yeah, now I'm gonna give my thoughts on the game. First of all, okay, so this is Robert Kurwitz. He's the lead writer. But yeah, I like the game. Like, even though, like, I think if I had let's say I had beer with this Kurwitz guy, the writer, I don't think I would agree with him in many places, but like, it's his leftist slant is quite clear. But I think he's, he tried to be fair and present many different viewpoints in the game, and sometimes he succeeded better and sometimes not so well. Yes, I can lower the music a little bit. Yeah, the music volume. But anyway, so, but like, the way he represents all these, so-called racist and fascist and stuff, I think this is not a very good way, but it doesn't have to be. Like, it's not like everything. Like, sometimes it's just good enough that you try, and the writing, like, I'd seen people praise the writing before I played the game, and the writing is pretty good, although at sometimes I find it pretentious, like this, talking with your limbic system and the reptilian brain and all this, or the shiver stuff. Sometimes it's sort of pretentious, or like, the stuff when you can talk to the corpse and stuff, because I got the impression, like, because this the head writer, I think he is some sort of, materialist leftist guy. So he doesn't really believe in probably any preternatural stuff, or what word did they use in this, that it wouldn't, but it was more like stranger than I expected. Still, like, the bug at the end, but even though, like, ultimately you can explain it rationally with, in scientific terms. Yeah, it's just this, bug with some pheromones that you can use to confuse people and stuff. But the Pale, I do think the concept of the Pale is interesting. Like, I don't understand it so well yet, and I would have liked to have seen, like, a whole world map and how the Pale plays into it and stuff. But I do like it, and it sort of caught me off guard that there is such a strange notion that distinguishes it clearly from the real world, because as far as I know there is no pale like that, or maybe there is, and this game is like soft disclosure on such matters. But yeah, the characters, many of them were interesting. Like well, it is very verbose, like there are very like prolonged deep conversations between many people, and it is ultimately a good thing, but it can be a bit grating at times, because you just want to move on. You want to talk to this guy, get whatever information they have, and then move on to the next location to investigate. But you're still stuck talking to this person, and then the guy next to them, and half an hour has passed. So it is like consumes your time, this game. Like and maybe it doesn't really matter if you're just playing by yourself, but like streaming it does sort of make me it made me sometimes feel self-conscious, like I want to at least go do this and that thing this stream, but then I can't because I'm just stuck in some room talking. But maybe that's just something that bothered me, but it's not, like I said, it's not ultimately even like a bad thing. But I have to say, like, I do think it is similar yet different to Game Deck, a game I streamed earlier. Like, they are sort of similar in many respects, but I probably liked Game Deck more. But it is still, this is also a pretty good game, but it's just the dice rolling in this game. I don't think it's so suitable for computer game. Like, it works well in board games and tabletop role-playing games, but not so well in computer games, because you are encouraged to save scum, and a little bit of save scumming is good, but it feels silly. Like, okay, I see, okay, there's 28% chance of succeeding. It's like, okay, I decide I'm gonna do it, and sometimes you have to roll only once, sometimes twice, sometimes like 10 times, and then you succeed. But it doesn't really do anything but waste your time to save scum. But it's it feels like just stupid not to save scum in those occasions. But yeah, the story itself, and I think it was quite well made. Like, you arrive there and you hear about this guy who's been hanged. And then first you hear about the Hardy Boys. Okay, they hanged it, and then you discover, okay, it wasn't them. It was actually, the guy was shot, and while he was doing his stuff with Glacier. And then you hear about the truck driver, Ruby. Okay, she might have done it, but then she didn't, and then we find the actual shooter. It's interesting done in that way, and that the shooter is just some, old guy with not even a good motivation, and was half insane, and one leg in the grave already, or one foot in the grave. Like, normally I wouldn't say it worked, because you'd expect a game like this, because it has all these political machinations in the background. You'd expect it to be some greater conspiracy or something going on. But yeah, it's just basically one guy. Like, he had some connection to the Union guys, the shooter, but still, it's sort of like let down, like deflated, like it's not any grand plot with bigger implications. It's sort of like depressing. Everything is shitty, and normally I wouldn't like it, but I think the way the Disco Elysium does it, it feels appropriate, like this sort of pessimistic pseudo-realism or something. I think that was fine, and it's sort of funny, first when I started the game, and you forgot everything, you don't have your memory, and you've just trashed your room and everything. I wasn't a fan of it, but I sort of grew into it. and I wanted to know more about the character. And also that was another thing that I sort of expected, that maybe and especially when Ruby, she was claiming that we work for the puta madre and stuff like that, that maybe there was some deeper meaning behind our actions here, but no, actually apparently not. We were just drunk and got drunk because of the ex-girlfriend or something, and hated life and wanted to die. So that's sort of, in some sense, a wasted opportunity. And especially the way you just ask about yourself from the other cops, like, oh, you're an old gym teacher, and yeah, there was this chick and she was hot, and then she left you and broke your heart. That's it. Like, because in the course of the game you find some things about yourself, like your name and whatever, or the car in the lake. Like, that was like, that's the show versus tell. Like, that was in the beginning they showed you who you are, but in the end they just blurt it out and tell, and that didn't work so well. So yeah, there's many things like that. I can nitpick and stuff, that it's not perfect, but okay, I guess like my one more gripe that I have is like, Ruby, the lesbian truck driver. Once you find her, you cannot arrest her. You're gonna either just let her kill herself, or you let her go. Like, there's many things like that the game sort of makes you think that, oh, there's many different ways of doing things, but then the options are more limited. I believe that they're more limited than it seems at first, and that's not so nice. And like, because what I knew about the game before playing it is like, yeah, I knew that you can be like a communist or a fascist or stuff like that, but personally I didn't care for either way of that, because it felt superficial, unless maybe you can actually start like a communist revolution in the game or something like that. But personally, this political stuff, I didn't care so much about it. And it's not like badly written, those things, but just not that interesting. And that's like, I guess, just highlights the difference between the mindset, like my mindset and the mindset of the author, who clearly wanted to create this conversation about communism. Especially, like, I do think they are fascinated by communism, but in at least they were, there was criticism towards communism, but I think it was more with a softer, much softer than about fascism or right wing or whatever, because it was sort of straw manning most of the criticism of whatever they call fascism or right wing or racist, whatever that stuff. But yeah, I've said enough already. So I did like the game. There are many things that could have been done better, but that applies to most games. Like, yeah, it's far from perfect, but overall I had fun with it. There were some really annoying parts, like the Ruby part, or yeah, I didn't like the shootout, because it triggers after you find Ruby. But since the game had the time limit and stuff, I thought it was like, oh, I have to find Ruby before, but apparently it was a mistake. Because like in a regular role-playing game, like Xenogears, the previous game I streamed, you of course leave the stuff that you're supposed to do for, like that the story says you have to do this, you leave it last. But this game, it actually has time is ticking down all the time. So I didn't want to waste too much time, but apparently I think I should have wasted more time, like to go talk to the Everard Clare, the Union guy, to get my gun back and stuff like that. And I think it would have been helpful in the shootout and stuff. But whatever, what's done is done. I'm not gonna be starting another playthrough in anytime soon. Maybe few years down the line, but whatever. I'm gonna clock out. just make the stream just under 4 hours. So yeah, I'm Adventure Argonaut, and I thank you for watching. Please follow me on the platform of your choice. Bye bye.